And we start with the title blocks overrides. Now in Revit 2026, the title block family scale parameter can also be edited to read as it should or on all of the sheets as required by your office standards. No longer are we stuck with the parameter default value of varies when there are multiple views in multiple scales on any particular sheet, as you see here. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look and see how that's done. Let's go ahead and open our title blocks, or rather this particular file that actually shows us. And what we're talking about is this part in here. As you can see right now, as it says, as indicated on view, that is something that I actually did myself. And if to actually verify this, I can actually select this and go ahead and select the edit type. By selecting the edit type dialog box, okay, you'll see that there is one parameter that is editable here in the properties, okay, which is the very new scale override parameter. As I have indicated, it says as indicated on the view, okay? And this is what I decided would be probably the default value. This could be where you put the default value that you need when it needs to be adherent to your office standards. Now that we see where it is and how you can change it, let's go ahead and see how it actually works. It's indicated that the views vary. Basically, that is what it says as indicated on view. That is indicated. Why? Now, how do I know? How can I prove it? Well, if we look at the scales of each one of these views, you see that this one is at 3/4, obviously, and this one is at 1.5. We have 2 at 1.5, okay? And we have this one up here at 1/8. So in these alone, we have 3 different scales. And here we have a 4th scale, which is actually a 12" equals a foot, all right? More than anything, you have to remember that this is actually because this is an image. So it's kind of hard to scale that, all right? So how do we actually do that? Well, to be honest with you, this is actually done at the family level. So let's go ahead and select the actual title block, go to the edit family. And in the edit family, as you can see, there's a couple of things that got changed. For example, there are dimensions here happening, okay? As you can see there and there. And there's a label already here. This one was created by myself in order for me to show you where it goes and how you can actually place it. And not only that, but if you I selected and I go to edit label, I also wanted to show you how exactly it is that you actually place it, or rather invoke that particular parameter that we're looking at. Okay, there is a list of parameters right here in the edit label. Okay, some are for sheets and some are for multi-leader tags, okay? What we really are looking at now is the sheets. And in the sheets here, we're looking at this section in here. This particular label that is selected is actually assigned to scale and is with a default sample value of 1/8. So if there are no objects in the particular, or rather no views in the particular sheet, it's going to show this, or some of maybe whatever it is that you define that you want to actually show. Okay, let's go ahead and see how that was made. Let's go ahead and cancel first here. All we wanted to do is see how that works. So we'll go over here to the create. We'll go to the label. And in label, the first thing to do is where is it placed? I'm just going to place it here for the sake of argument. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and select the specific attribute or that this label is going to be carrying, which is the scale. Okay, and by default already it's telling me it's going to use the 1/8. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. Okay, if you don't like the way that this is actually set up, okay, you can always select the a particular label and go ahead and switch whatever justifications, which is really what the alignments are, you're going to be using for that label. I prefer to have it on a right. By default, usually it comes in on left like that. but I had changed this originally to go to the right. Not only that, but I'm also going to make sure that whatever the size of this label is going to be as far as height is concerned, I want this always to be in the middle, okay? Now that that's done like that, when I load it into my sheet, into my project rather, it's going to ask me to overwrite, which I'm going to say yes to. And you'll notice there's my new one. That's the new one I created. Okay, or we just created, as we saw here in the particular family of the title block family. I'm going to close this and save changes no on this thing. It's not going to affect this one because it imported it. And so now this has become a separate object from the one that's over there, unless I go ahead and say edit family. Okay, and if I, once again, if I want to change this to read whatever it is that I want, I need to go to the edit type. Okay, and I can just say C view for scale. Okay, just to change it to see how it's actually changed. You can change it, apply it, and okay it. And as you can see, both of them are now set properly as I want it. And once again, you can go ahead and label this any way you need to in accordance to your office standards. Continuing on with this particular type of thing, let's go ahead and open up a couple of other views. I want you to see something else. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on A102 and A103 sheets here, and I will close the A101. Okay, and as you can see here, this 1/8 is showing. Okay, now the 1/8 scale is showing not because it's default and nothing else is set. It's because both of these views, okay, which make up the totality of this particular sheet, are both at 1/8 of an inch. Therefore, it changes it. If I were to actually change any one of them, let's say to 1/4, it will automatically change to, it varies. So to whatever it is, the default value that I told you it should be. So say C view for scale, okay? The same thing happens with this one. Sorry, let's go ahead and double click on that. And let's change it over here to maybe a 3/8. Okay, it's a lot bigger, I understand, but once again, it switches it back to there are variable scales here. It used to just read variable, no longer is the case. It is whatever you need to be according to, once again, your office standards. But at least that's the way that we are perceiving it to be designed for.